So today we're going to analyze what I think is probably the strongest clinch technique that an amateur Muay Thai fighter or an amateur kickboxer can add to their repertoire. And we're going to start by analyzing the lock technique over a few clips so we understand what it is. After this, I'm going to pause to explain why I believe it is such a powerful technique to be able to use. And finally, we're going to look at two different continuations which are very dangerous for our opponent and often fight-ending. Alright, so technique is very easy to apply. See how Blue's arm here is far away from his body and is creating this gap underneath. Red is going to get an underhook by bringing his right arm, here you can see the red elbow pad, where it is. It's going to loop under Blue's armpit. And once he does this, he is going to step out to his right and pivot, roll that arm over Blue's shoulder up here, and that will place him into a lock. Alright, let's see that happen. Okay. There, into this lock here, and we'll pause it for just a moment. We can see how Red got this underhook, and it locked over. Get one more time in slow motion. Alright. So the really important thing to notice here is that as Red gets the underhook, so he does it multiple times to Blue, he's stepped this leg out and behind, and by stepping behind that's going to give him the leverage to push Blue's shoulder down, which is really what the lock is, and that's going to break his posture. So getting the underhook and then stepping and pivoting around is really all the technique is, but that step and pivot is very, very important.
Le tout meilleur dans cette catégorie, cherchez pas.
Right. Ce garçon here we have the lock. See it one more time in slow motion. And there it is, and he's broken Blue's posture by going around to the side. Let's quickly see two more examples here. Goes over the shoulder, blocks to the side. He doesn't break his posture that well in this one. But there it is. So, here we have it one more time in slow motion. From a different angle. And the reason I believe this is such a strong technique is for a few reasons. First, it is extremely easy to get. All you need to do is get a single underhook. Yeah, compare this to other techniques you see taught. They will say you need both hands on the neck, or one underhook and one overhook, or one hand on the head and one hand on the inside of the bicep. This technique requires only a single underhook. That's it, on either side. So it's very, very easy to position yourself for it. You need a lot less prerequisites met before you can do it than other techniques. What's more is that amateurs give away underhooks practically for free. It's very, very natural for people to flare their arms or extend their arms too far in the clinch, and so these are very easy to get. And as we're going to look at in a moment, the final reason is it allows potentially for some devastating follow-ups. There's some really, really strong follow-ups that you're going to be able to use, and very easy follow-ups. So let's see, this is one more example from the back, just so we can clearly see that Red is rolling Blue's shoulder over to get that lock. Right. In this next clip, we are going to see the follow-up, right after this replay. Just really want to show the positioning of it. Alright, so here we go. Let's look at this. Now, here Red's broken Blue's posture, right? And this will happen a lot. You'll manage to really roll over their shoulder and their head will go down like this, and, really there's no prizes here for guessing what Red does next, yeah? Does what pretty much everyone will do. He's going to unload some knees to Blue's face until the ref ends up breaking the clinch. Yeah, that's something you can do every time you break their posture like this. The only important thing to note here is that here's the locking arm. Right? What you should do if you break their posture is you can bring this free arm that I'm highlighting here across to the back of their head, and that's just going to support the lock. It's going to make it a bit easier to keep their head down while you knee. It can also help to pull their head into the knee as you do it. Now, this is a very intuitive idea. You see the head down there, you're going to knee it. So we're just going to go through some examples very fast and just see it happening. Right, one more replay here. There's not too much commentary I need to give on this, right? If you break their posture, put your hand on the back of their head and knee them in the head. Yeah? Do 2 more examples. So another posture's broken, hand to the back of the head, and there's the knee. And one more. Yeah, so it happens a lot. Alright, so this brings us to our second follow-up. Here, blue has the lock, right? He's under red's arm, as we can see here, and the glove's there, but he hasn't managed to step around. Yeah, he hasn't managed to break red's posture, and that's because this leg's on the wrong side. This needs to be around the back of red. But if you mess that up or you don't get the opportunity, that's now kind of hard to get. Alright? So in a case like this where you can't break the posture, this is going to bring us to our second follow-up, which is an elbow. Yeah, this left elbow by blue is going to come an elbow red. Now the elbow is a little more technically difficult, and this is because of our body position. Firstly, if we stay exactly where we are and try and throw the elbow, it's going to have no power on it. The other thing, our glove is in the way, so even if we try to elbow, it's going to be very hard to land it clean. So to pull this off, what we're actually going to do is we're going to need to begin releasing this lock. So we're going to slide our glove this way as we step around. So we step around this leg, our left leg in this case, our leg further away from them. We're going to step it around to get closer to them with the left elbow. We're going to do this at the same time as we release the lock. And this is going to let us put power into the elbow. Yeah? So see that this is exactly what blue's going to do. Watch him very carefully release this lock a bit as he elbows. Yeah, that's a very important point. You need to release it a little bit as you step around. One thing to notice here, just on this repeat, is you shouldn't always drop your arm fully. You should try and keep the underhook if possible, because you won't always knock them out like this. Yeah, you'll land that elbow, maybe they're a bit rocked, and you can actually go straight back into the lock. You'll have a lot of opportunity to do that. So you can pull all the way back, generate a lot of power, but I think you can do a short, very sharp elbow with a lot of power, and then try and relock if you still happen to have that underhook. So let's see 3 more examples. Yeah, and we'll see in all of them, they do the same thing. They pull that arm out of the way, step around for the elbow. He's going to pull this arm out of the way, step around for that elbow, and drop them here. Yeah, this arm moves out of the way as he steps around and gets that elbow. Now this arm's going to move out of the way as he steps around, and there's the elbow. Watch this leg step around. Yeah? Very important to get close enough and generate power. This arm moves out of the way, and that one's actually kind of interesting because here he uses a down elbow, right? The head's kind of pushed back, so the jaw of blue is kind of just under where his glove is. So he's actually going to release the glove and bring this elbow down. So this is a bit of an interesting variant. Yeah, and it comes down like that. So that's another option you have. And that's really it for today. That's it for you guys. That's all I've got. But it's a very, like I said, very, very powerful technique. You'll get it so often against people. It can account for like 70% of your clinch game against amateurs. And not only is it easy to get, because you only need one arm in position, but it gives you great follow-up options. You'll be able to break their posture a lot of the time, and there's your knee to the head. If you don't get that, you'll probably have the opportunity for an elbow or at least a knee to the body or legs. It's a very dominant, easy position to get. And that's why I believe it's so strong at amateur level, and you should add it to your repertoire. So what I might release next, or release soon, is actually a complementary technique to this that fills up all the gaps where you can't use this technique and gives you an almost complete clinch repertoire. So maybe that's something I'll do soon. I have some other ideas. If you want to place a request in the comments or any ideas for what can be done, or maybe you think a different clinch technique is the best at amateur level, let me know. Thanks for watching.